What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm LotusAsakura, the one who never knows best, and in today's video bringing you my review for episode 5 of Dragon Ball Daima. In the last episode, we ended things off with being introduced to a character known as Pansy, which we didn't really get her name, but then the next episode, like title or preview, was named Pansy, so we just assumed that that was her name, and that is correct. But Pansy shows up after Goku takes on a bunch of soldiers who were basically not interrogating, but antagonizing a village and like taking literal years off people's lifespan for their inability to pay taxes, fees, tithes, collections to King Goma, who is apparently more cruel than Deborah, according to one character that we found out later in this series, which is interesting because Deborah didn't exactly seem like the friendliest person, but I digress. Pansy introduces herself to the group, that being Glorio, Goku, and Supreme Kai, and you know, they introduce themselves to each other, and she wants to go along with them on this adventure to go to the castle and look for the Dragon Balls, and they're like, no. But inevitably, of course, she ends up tagging along anyway, and then offers Goku a rice ball because, as you might imagine, Goku being Goku is pretty hungry at this point. Also, Pansy knows the way to the castle. So while they're all walking together, there's a moment that I thought was pretty funny that I just wanted to point out, where Pansy's like, oh, Goku's a weird name, and Goku's like, well, Pansy's a weird name, and then Goku also brings up Kakarot, which I think the only other time ever that we've seen Goku like acknowledge the name of Kakarot and refer to himself as such, I think he did it in the Broly movie. He's like, he tells Broly to call him Kakarot, which maybe is just a Saiyan thing, or he just wants other Saiyans to refer to him as Kakarot since that is his Saiyan name, which in and of itself was like kind of mind-blowing, but also funny, and also I guess a reference to, you know, the original Broly and everything like that, little callback or whatever. But yeah, I found it interesting that he even brought up that name at all. But even funnier than that is that Pansy apparently doesn't realize that he's not of the demon realm, despite the fact that he has rounded ears. He's like, oh, like what's your spell? Like all demons here can like use at least like one spell or some form of magic. He goes, and I'm sitting here thinking he about to do a Kamehameha or something, right, to show like magic. You know what I mean? That's what I thought was about to happen. You know what this fool does? The nigga sticks his tongue out and touches his nose with his tongue. I can't do that, by the way. I know some of y'all can. I have a short tongue. That's about as far as I can go. Goku's an idiot. It made me chuckle, okay? I thought it was dumb. I thought it was funny. Anyway, moving on. Apparently Pansy can use telekinesis, but she's not very good at it. She struggled quite a lot to lift a rock off the ground, and not like a large boulder, but like a rock that I could fit in my hand. But she can do it nevertheless. Apparently what she's actually good at is tinkering with machines. So just think of her as like a little mini Bulma. It seems like that's the role she's going to play here in Daima, is somebody who's good at like fixing machines, tinkering with stuff, you know, working on the plane, things like that. Why have her instead of just regular Bulma? Who knows? But Bulma's back at, you know, Kami's lookout working on the ship there, so whatever. As they're walking, they continue to converse, and I think it was actually Pansy who said that King Goma was actually more cruel than Deborah was. And she also mentions that the average lifespan around there is like 1,000 years, which is why she thought it was so cruel that they were taking like 9 years off people's lives for being unable to pay a single gold coin. And 1,000 years seemed crazy to me at first, because like I thought like the Glins, which they mentioned multiple times, which is like Supreme Kai's race, which is the Kais as far as we know, lived for more than 1,000 years. Because I think the Elder Kai was like millions of years old, wasn't he? I don't remember exactly, but I also remember that he fused with that witch, which might have, you know, changed his lifespan and everything like that, or at least thousands. Like I'm pretty confident he was more than 1,000 years old, but fusing with the witch and then also being sealed in the Z Sword probably, you know, had a large effect on that. But regardless, turns out Pansy herself is 82 years old. Didn't see that one coming, but if you live for 1,000 years, then yeah, I guess as when you're 82, you're still a child. You're damn near a toddler, I guess, but whatever. That conversation happens, and we swap on over to a random scene where there's this woman, a random demon, who's like in a large room caring for a little baby Namekian, who I guess isn't actually a Namekian because he's never been to, nor is he from Namek, but the demons that look like Namekians, you know what I mean. He's green, he's got the ears, the antenna, he looked like Piccolo, okay, but baby form. I guess actually it looks more like Dende. Wait, no, that was Dende, right? Now that I think about it, yeah, no, that was Dende. I didn't put that together until just now. I can only assume that was Dende. Yeah, okay. I took note of it when I was watching, but I didn't really like think it through. I was just trying to enjoy the episode, but now that I'm sitting here thinking about what I saw, that was 100% Dende. Duh. And so King Gon was having some woman look after him, and she's like, hey, take good care of him. We're gonna have him make a new set of Dragon Balls for us. I don't know why I didn't realize it at the time, but obviously now that was Dende. So after that transpires, Pansy, Goku, and the gang, they finally reach the castle, and it turns out Pansy's a princess. The castle's her house. The king's her dad. Honestly, didn't see that coming. Maybe that was a little bit more predictable to some of y'all, but I wasn't really thinking about it. I just thought she'd be little girl, just mischievous. I want to adventure too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't think, she's a princess. Cool, whatever. So they meet up with the king, and Glorio goes, hey, here you go. Here's the guy that I said that I'd find for you. Because as it turns out, Glorio went up to the king and said that he would find somebody who was not only strong enough to beat Majin Buu, but could help him overthrow King Goma. Because apparently the king wants to do that. He wants to get rid of Goma because he thinks he's a terrible leader. He's obviously cruel. He's evil. Doesn't deserve to rule over the Demon King, or excuse me, over the Demon Realm. And Pansy's dad actually wants to be the new supreme ruler of the Demon World. He claims that he would rule a lot more peacefully. He seems very passionate and a little aggressive, abrasive. I don't know. Not like he's not like evil or nothing, but just the way he said, I'm like, I don't know. You don't sound very peaceful, my boy. But he can't be worse than Goma, can he? I mean, I guess he could, but he probably not gonna be worse than Goma. Goma's a bit of a little shit, ain't he? He just, I don't know. He might got little man syndrome. You know what I'm saying? Letting the power go to a big ass head. But regardless, after some convincing from Pansy and Glorio that Goku is as strong as everybody's claiming, the king goes, okay, like I'll take your word for it, kind of, sort of, maybe, but I'm going to need to see some sort of demonstration. And so they then go out to the courtyard, or whatever you want to say, like the training grounds, the battlegrounds, where a bunch of his soldiers are out there training. You got a bunch of battle-hardened, seasoned warriors out there. And he goes, hey, Goku right here, strongest dude in the world. If y'all can beat him, you get a raise. Obviously expecting Goku to like wipe the floor with them, and he does. Goku then proceeds to throw hands with everybody out there and like in the battlefield, and with ease, without breaking a sweat. It's just like dancing on him, like literally dancing on him. It's a scene where he's like doing flares and stuff, like break dancing, and it's like, taking out people's ankles and legs, jumping off people's heads, punch, kick, bam, boom. There's one punch that he does where like he throws a punch, stops it right in front of somebody's face, and then flicks them. That was hilarious. And there's also a moment where he went Super Saiyan for just a split second, and it was really cool. It looked really dope, and I thought he was just gonna go straight up Super Saiyan and like finish everybody off. But it was like a couple of seconds where he flashed Super Saiyan, the hair spiked up, he went golden and everything, a bunch of power. You know what I'm saying? He shook the, you know what I mean? And then he stayed in base form. But like I don't know why that happened, because it was almost like they were trying to allude to something or foreshadow something. I don't know if that was the case, or if it's just like he can't fully go Super Saiyan yet. Or it's like, I don't really know. Because we haven't seen him transform or anything up to this point. And obviously, just as a reminder, this is taking place after Buu, but before Battle of Gods. So Super Saiyan 3 is as far as Goku can go. I think all we're going to see is regular Super Saiyan from him in this, unless there's some sort of new transformation or fusion or whatever. But yeah, I don't really understand the point there. I feel like there was a reason behind that, but whatever the case is, I don't know. I guess we'll find out eventually. But anyway, that was our dose of action for this episode. And after that takes place, the king is like, okay, I approve of your strength. You definitely seem strong enough, whatever. I'll give you guys a plan, because Glorio requests a plane, as theirs was stolen before, so that they can continue on their quest to collect the Dragon Balls from the, what are they called again? The Tamagotchis? I forget the name, but the beings that are protecting or like watching over the Dragon Balls that are super, super strong. I'm gonna call them Tamagotchis for now, because I don't remember their actual name. So anyway, the gang is getting ready to depart, and as they are, there's this character who's like doing ballet and like dancing, doing plies and pirouettes and stuff in the background. And the king goes, hey, Ibris, come over here. And actually asked this character to go and fetch Goku's friends from Kami's Lookout. So I'm assuming that would be Bulma, Vegeta, Piccolo, and Popo. I don't know, because Supreme Kai says it's like 3 or 4 people. I'm assuming Vegeta is going to be among those. We haven't seen Vegeta be involved in Daima basically at all yet, outside of the first episode. I gotta imagine that he gets more involved at some point, right? Because it's feeling real GT right now. I had a viewer in chat, which, by the way, I do live watch parties for these episodes on stream at twitch.tv/LotusAsakura. Links always in the description down below if you want to hang out and talk about the episodes as we all watch it together. But somebody compared it to GT, and like obviously GT and Daima are very different in a lot of ways, but they actually share more similarities than you'd like to think. Now that being said, Daima seems better than GT so far, but it is really all about Goku right now, and he ain't really getting a lot of contribution from anybody else. He's the driving, I mean, he's the main character. It's like he's always the driving force behind every Dragon Ball series, but you know what I mean. GT was obviously a bit different from like Z, you know what I mean, or like Super, where it's, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, that being said, at first I thought that he was like implying or like indicating that this character named Hebris had the ability to just like teleport and just like go to the outside world and like come back right quick. But apparently he wanted this character, which I assume is a girl. I can't tell for sure, but I'm gonna assume a gender in 2024. Assume me, that she or they he sent her on a mission with a plane to go. Run it back. The king is sending her on a mission to go fetch Goku's friends in a plane from Kami's lookout. I thought she was just going to be able to teleport into transmission or something like that. I guess that's not the case. However, the only plane that he has, he's giving to Glorio and Goku. So he actually ends up sending off a bunch of soldiers to go steal a plane that's big enough to carry the character and Goku's friends on the lookout. So that's how that's going to go. And of course, naturally, Pansy wants to accompany Glorio, Goku, and the Supreme Kai on their adventure to go collect the Dragon Balls, and she's like trying to bring like a bunch of luggage. And of course, the king is at first like, no, where the fuck you think you're going? You're just gonna get in their way. But she's like, hey, like, you know, I'm good with machines. And Goku's like, hey, if she's good with machines, she might actually up us out a bit because, you know, I don't know nothing about that. Not King Kai, Supreme Kai, I don't know nothing about that. And Glorio, you know anything about machines? He's like, it's not really my forte. So again, like assuming that new Bulma role, I guess. Now, how much are they gonna need that on this adventure, on this journey? I guess a decent amount considering what happens with the plane once they take off, but we'll get to that in just a moment. Before this episode wraps up, Supreme Kai starts speaking to Goku, and he starts telling him that he's becoming suspicious of Glorio, and basically just like trying to warn him to like keep his eyes peeled because Glorio never mentioned to the king that they had been turned into children. When they were first introduced to each other, like in the king's throne room or whatever, the king kind of implies that like he'd let Pansy marry Goku or something like that, and Goku goes, oh well, I already have a wife and kids. And they were very shocked by that because he obviously looks like a child. And she goes, is your race like y'all just look like children? She don't know nothing about humans, right? It's like, y'all just look like children. He's like, no, like I'm an adult. And then Supreme Kai explains like, yeah, we were adults, but you know, Goma turned us into kids. And that's information that you would have expected Glorio to relay to the king ahead of time. And he didn't, and Supreme Kai thinks that that's suspicious. Beyond that, if you remember, Glorio also said that he was requested by the king to go and fetch them and find somebody who could aid them in their goal to basically overthrow King Goma, and wanted somebody who was strong enough to take out Majin Buu. But it turns out Glorio's actually the one who approached the king. So again, kind of suspicious. It's like, why is Glorio being so, and he's been mysterious this whole time, but he's being secretive. He's leaving out details, not telling whole truths, everything like that. So it's like, is he a bad character? Is he a villain? I don't really know. He's definitely up to something. Again, is he maybe in cahoots with damn, what's Shorty's name? King Goma's assistant sister. Well, I guess Supreme Kai's sister. I forget Shorty's name, which I know who I'm talking about with the updo demon Shorty with the you know what I'm saying? The large personality. I forget Shorty's name, but I wonder if like because we haven't seen her again since then, and I don't imagine that she's just gonna be off screen for the rest of this series or this season. She's gonna come back and play a role in this somehow, some way. I'm certain of it. I haven't forgotten about her, even though I have forgotten her name at the moment. But yeah, that's basically how the episode wraps up, is Supreme Kai whispering that to Goku and saying that. And then as they're taking off on their plane to go start looking for the Dragon Balls and fight the Tamagotchi, their plane starts malfunctioning. Something's wrong with the engine, and they say that it's something to do with the fact that Pansy brought all that luggage. Is that actually the case? I don't know. Was Sabotage involved? Is this all according to some secret plan Glorio's trying to do? But I guess this at this point shows why they needed a character like Pansy to come along, because I'm assuming that she's going to be the one that has to fix the engine, and how she's going to do that, where she's going to find the parts, whatever, I don't know. But maybe part of the luggage that she has contains some parts that can help fix the plane. She's got her tools and everything with her. I don't know. Episode literally ends with the plane crashing seconds, I guess maybe minutes after they've taken off. So that's where this episode wraps up. I enjoyed watching it. I'm having a lot of fun every week watching Daima. Hopefully you guys are as well. And yeah, I guess we're finally getting into like the actual like main part of the adventure, where they are hunting for the Dragon Balls. I guess with this wrapping up with episode 5, we're already a quarter of the way, because again, I believe it's only going to be this one season and it's 20 episodes. So yeah, it's crazy to think it's already been 5 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even feel like it's been that long, but here we are. Well, I guess it's been 4 weeks. This is going on week 5, right? So yeah, I enjoyed the episode. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you can stay tuned for all the awesome content I'm bringing you. With all that being said, that's pretty much all I have today. And remember, nothing can happen to you swing the bat. Later.